Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome to the beginning of my savings, budgeting, and YouTube journey. On this channel, I experiment with different budgeting styles, savings goals, and I share the strategies I learn as I go. So if that sounds interesting at all to you, please go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to follow my journey. Let me bring you in here a little closer. So today is the day before payday. So I always do my pre-payday prep a few days before payday. And then the night before, I take a look to see if there's any money left over that I can roll over and save. A week ago, I looked into my bank account to see what was left, to see if I was on track, paid all my bills. At that time, I noticed I was over budget in groceries by $37. Also, at that time, I had $51 left in cash. So today, I'm going to check to see if I have anything left, and I have already done that. So let me show you what I found. So I took a look into all of my envelopes. There's nothing left. There's nothing in here. I did have some change, and I had $1 left. So let me show you exactly. This is what I pulled out. So this is all that was left of my wallet for this week. So usually I have something left, but this week, it just didn't work out that way. So that's okay because all of that was budgeted for, variable expenses. One thing this week that was different that I did was I spent some more in groceries. Some of the categories kind of got mixed into each other. Gas, didn't have anything left because I used some things for the house and some food. So there was only $14 left over that wasn't in gas. So you know what? So none of that bothers me. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. So this is all that's left. This will go into my low income savings challenge, which is that right here. So that $1 and change. Once I get enough to add $4.50 to one of these savings jars, I will pull that money out and put it in my big bag of coins that I have. And eventually when I'm done filling all of the coins on that whole bag, I'll have $60.96 in change. So it's another way to save. This is from, let me mention that. This is from Amanda's Budget. She also has a YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check out that channel if you like. And this I got from her Etsy shop. All right, so clearly after the midweek review, things went downhill. So moving on, my current balances right now are $222 in the bill account and $75 in the main account. That is because I ended up using the money that I had in my bill account from the midweek review. I had, I had allowance, a buffer, and allowance and a buffer still in there. So from that, I went ahead and just went ahead and bought groceries. So I spent $273 at the grocery store. I used that money as a buffer only because I knew that I'd be getting paid and I had already budgeted for that much. So that didn't bother me to spend it ahead of time. I kind of just wanted to beat the Thanksgiving crowd. Otherwise, I could have waited. So that's what's left, the $222. And then I went ahead and did my budget based on that. So there usually would have been more rollover because of the mortgage. But again, like I said, I jumped over and did the grocery shopping. So I can just alter the new budget. So I went ahead and did that. I altered the new budget a bit. I also went over in groceries again by $15 the last pay period. So the numbers changed a little bit for the budget. For the groceries, since Walmart, I usually get a few other things at Walmart. Like I had to get some things for the house and some personal things. I just subtracted those. I subtracted that $40 from that grocery balance to know that I only spent $233 in groceries. The plan was $230 for this upcoming pay period, so that's fine. We just went over by a little bit. And I think this is mostly just because of Thanksgiving. So I'll have to revisit this in December. But groceries has been a struggle for me so far lately in my budgets. But I think that's the case with most people right now, unfortunately. I put in how much the payday will be. It got me to $2,800. So I have to take out what should have come out first. So I have to take out the half of the mortgage that should have still been in there that I used. And then I have to take out the buffer that should have been in there that I used. So $505 off the top has to come out off of that total. So then I decided to put $20 more into my automatic savings. I have to keep in mind that the $175 that I always send to my savings account has already been is not accounted for in this because it's already been moved to those accounts. So it's already been auto drafted into those separate savings accounts. But I did decide I was going to save $20 more, so to make my main savings account $2,000. And I'll show you that on my worksheet too to better explain it. So fixed expenses came down to only $633. Again, that's because I've already gone grocery shopping, and I decided I'm going to put $5 more in each of the buffers. So my main account, I'm going to make $80, and this bill account is going to be $80 instead of $75 now. I slowly want to make the buffers both $100, but I'm going to do that slowly. Then $7 goes to debt to Klarna. That leaves me with $16.35, and I circled that because that's how much I'm going to pull out in cash to stuff in my envelopes. So in the envelopes will be my $275 for my wallet. I decided not to even worry about what I've already spent in these categories for home and personal. I'm just going with the original budget of $275 just to make it easier for myself. So I'm going to pull out that whole amount that I already planned. Then $36 will go into my one savings challenge, my succulent challenge. I did go ahead off camera, take out this challenge. So this was my house plant challenge, and I've said all along that this was going to go to my pet emergency fund. So I've gone ahead and took what was in here, which was only $50. I hadn't finished it. This whole thing amounts to $70. So I took the $50 out. Oh, I did put a little $70 in here. I took the $50 out and moved it to the sinking fund. So this sinking fund has been in my home binder for a while, but there was nothing in it. So I put the $50 in there. I know I need to do a condensing. I will show you guys that. I will do one of those within the next couple weeks because clearly I need to condense. So condensing is, for those of you that don't know, it's just that when you take the smaller bills back to the bank and put bigger bills in here. So these, if there's 21s in here, I'll put a $20 bill in here instead, just so that they're not as jam-packed as they are right now. So that one's all set. So you'll see I did change the pet emergency here. Some of these amounts did change. Pet emergency I changed to $30. It was $100. So I'm just going to make it 30. That way I can put $30 more in that pet envelope where there's already 50, which will make it 80. And then I can do this $70 challenge again. Once I'm done with that, I'll meet my goal of $150. So, and I did that because I wanted to put more in the home goal category. So I put more in the home goal category, and I put more in the home maintenance category. So I'll show you guys all of my envelopes. Oh, and I also put more in the electric savings. So that's where the extra money went. And then there was just $1 left. I just decided to put that into the YouTube supply thing that I have, supply envelope that I have. And this is in parentheses all of the amounts that it will come to after I do the cash stuffing. I am going to try to do all the cash stuffing tomorrow of the whole 1635, but I might have to split up the videos, but we'll see. So I got the 1635. That's what will come out again in cash. $275 will go into my wallet for the next 2 weeks, and that's funds that I need to use within. That's all I have to spend within the next 2 weeks. I am going to try a new experiment with this next month, so keep an eye out, see what I'm going to try to change for that. Then I have $36 going into savings challenges, $660 is going to my always fund, and then the $664 is going into my cash envelopes. So that's it. I went ahead and filled out a new, is this the right one? I feel like I did this like 3 times. Yep, I filled out another one of these forms. I said before that I was going to stop doing the, including the buffer because it did mess me up. So I just put a little note here on the side that I have $75 in my main account. I have the $222 in the bill account, but $75 of that is buffer. I put a note here to not include the buffer. Including the buffer just completely threw me off the last time I tried to do it. I'm not going to do that anymore. You, of course, can certainly do it whatever way makes sense for you. For me, it did not. But you'll see I plugged in the $5 more here for each of the accounts that I want to add the buffer to in a savings. This here, I just put a little note here to show me what has already come out so that at the end of the month, I can categorize, where my spending is. So before I close out, I want to show you my update of the closeout so we can finally close out this pay period. It's not the end of the month. The end of the month for me will be on December 7th, but we'll close out this pay period and see what we spent in each category. This was the sheet that we filled out for the beginning of the last pay period. And I'm just filling in what we actually spent. So for grocery, I said that we went over this pay period by $15 more. So it was $217 plus 15. So we went over by $232. All right, so let's see how much we spent in the fixed expenses. So we're not going to count the buffer. We'll do $430. And actually, we are going to count the buffer since we counted it the first time. So actually, I do these a little bit different, clearly, because most people consider groceries a variable fund. I don't consider it a variable fund simply because of where I leave it, and I leave it in the bank account. So I don't consider it a variable fund just because, again, like I said, I do things that based on the way they work for me, and you should do the same. You should always alter your budget for what works for you and your family and the way that you understand it. So we are over by $47, and clearly that's from grocery. And here, personal, $1 was left, so that means we spent $49. And then for entertainment, nothing was left. That means we spent $30. So let's see. Actually, some of entertainment went to food, so let me change that. Was it entertainment or gas? Let me see. Let me double check before I just scribble this down. I think it was gas. So I am tracking two ways. I'm tracking on paper and I am tracking, food. So $6 of gas went to food, $8 went to home. So I want to fix that. So let's do the math here. Gas, we spent $36. Food, we're going to put $6 more in food. So $238, which means we'll have to fix this. Okay, and then for home, we spent $8 more. So this is $38. Home. All right, there we go. What did I do before these pens? I know I was scribbling and erasing everything every 5 seconds. We're starting a whole new sheets. Okay, 1124 minus the 1071 that we planned. We're over there by 53. Okay, so we were under budget by 1 in personal and home. We were over by 8. In dining, we were under by 20. That's good, because those went to grocery. And entertainment, we were right on. Gas, we were under by 14. And miscellaneous, we were right on. And also here, I did a little math here. I did the $37 payment for Discover, and then I did another payment of $65.23 just to even out what that balance was. So in debt, we spent $124, which means we spent more than the 58 that we planned. So we spent $66 more, which isn't a bad thing to put more towards debt than less, but we also spent a little bit on the Discover this pay period, I think. Yeah, we did. All of these stayed the same, except I think for this we put $38. Car emergency. All right, so this was exactly what we planned. I'm not gonna do the balances and stuff. I'm just not. I just don't care. And then nothing went to sinking funds, unfortunately. Except that I was gonna say, except that we moved the savings challenge to a sinking fund, but that doesn't really matter. It's just the moving of funds, not the spending of funds. So we did okay. I mean, let's see. So we were over by 8 in home, but we were under in everything else. So we were under, let's see, 21, 14. We were under by 35 and over by 8. So we were, I don't know if God, the universe, or somebody somewhere does not want me to be recording right now, but things are getting real Poseidon over here. All right, so I was on the variable funds. We were under in 3 categories and over in only 1. So let's see, we were under 20, was it at 35? So we were under $35 and we were over by 8. So balancing those out, we were under by $27 in variable funds, which is good. I mean, they went to other things clearly, but that's good. We were over $53 in fixed expenses, over in debt, which is actually a good thing. And the others, the savings always fund and the savings challenges, those were the same. And then I want to show you my sinking funds update. This I will update again tomorrow once. So that's Payday B. That'll be updated tomorrow with whatever I add. So each of these accounts, if I add anything, that's what goes in this column. This is the column with the beginning balances here. So we spent in health this pay period, we spent in Christmas this pay period, and we spent in YouTube supplies this pay period. Then we'll do our additions in this column. So as of right now, in sinking funds and savings challenges, we have a total of $2,023. So my last step is to do my denominations for my bank withdrawal tomorrow. So I've already stated that we're going to be taking out $1,635 to cash stuff with. So I want to make sure I have the right denominations because clearly these are all different amounts. I want to make sure I have the right denominations to go into these envelopes. So let's do that real quick. Before I fill it out, I want to show you that I made some changes to these. I am working on getting these so that you can purchase them. These are forms that I created. I am working on a form that I can get you guys. And I need to do it before somebody else does it because I've been seeing people say that, you know, somebody stole my channel or they stole this or they stole that. So I want to make sure I get it up there and, you know, trademark it in a sense that's seriously saving. But let me do this for you. I did make some changes just here. The bank withdrawal, instead of marking it paycheck A and paycheck B, I just put this here so I can label it because I do have my YouTube paychecks too. So instead of, you know, having all these different pieces of paper and looking for the right one, I just decided it's easier to do it this way. It's too much. I had to get another sheet. I'm not mad about that.
Can I get some Skittles, some dips, Reese's Pieces, pretzels, and a large popcorn?
A large? You got money. He got money. Get it all for him.
I don't know how many times I had to recalculate this. but I finally got it to work out. Because I always like to split up my variable funds and my sinking funds. I'm pulling out $275, which will go into my wallet, and then I'm pulling out $1360, which will go into sinking funds and savings challenges. Off to the bank tomorrow. And then I also, yay, abundance is just flowing for me right now. YouTube paycheck. So I have to get, I have to budget that, pull it from the bank, and show you guys, you know, where all of that will go. So I got monetized in July. First paycheck was August, which was I think $250, and then it went down in September to $188, and then now it went down again. So I thought it was supposed to work the other way, but that's okay. I won't complain. Just how the universe works sometimes. But thank you so much for everybody who has liked, commented, and thank you to those who have shared. Shares are increasing, so that's a good thing. I think what's more important than the money for me is to have a community who actually cares about each other, and we all talk and we share ideas. So I'm very happy about that. I will not complain, not one single bit, because I would do this for free. Clearly I have. And then also we'll be able to see what my new paychecks will look like since I got a little bit of a raise. So I'm hoping to one day soon, rather than later, I'm working on it. I won't say too much, but I'm working on it. I'm hoping to let go of this low income title, y'all. I don't want it. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending time with me today. Question of the day is, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you having family over? Are you cooking? Are you just going to go out to eat? I'm really only cooking for me and my daughter and maybe a couple other people, but we'll see. You know, we know how that goes. But I don't complain. I'm not a person who likes to be around a big crowd, so it's perfect for me. We can eat, get fat, watch some movies, sit by the fire, you know, tell old folk stories. No, I'm just kidding. But that's it. Thank you, everybody. Happy saving. Bye.